holder, that just feels like you're pushing stuff to me, and it's very, very one way. And so I actually deleted the tweet, not because I feel I was wrong. I just didn't phrase it very well. And if I criticize something like that, I do like to actually go, do you know what? How can I improve? Rather than just going on it, that I do in this situation. So I actually sat down, I'm talking to Mark while doing this, and I came up with 10 things that clubs could do with a limited amount of staff and a limited amount of time and a limited amount of budget to actually have some interactivity with the fans, with things like that during this time.
Yeah, in real time, you came up with these within an hour. Probably the first 6 or 7 came within 15 minutes, didn't they? So,
Yeah. And I'm a nobody, all right? I do marketing a little bit for my company, but realistically, anybody can think of these. And it just felt like everything that had been done from the clubs was just what they'd always done. Like the heritage stuff, that's all been put out since before this.
Yeah.
The match replays have been done before as well.
Yeah,
so,
you're right.
I don't know if
Wigan have kind of started to theme things. So, like, theme around a particular season or a particular event, World Club Challenge or be what it is, over the last few weeks. So each week would be themed around a different thing. But all the major matches and stuff that they've started theming around, I'd watched in the first 2 weeks of there being no live games to go to. Anyway, because it was already on the channel, on the Wigan TV channels there to find and watch. It wasn't new content, so I empathise with what you're saying there,
yeah. So do we want to go through the ideas that I came up with?
Let's get some other fan views first, and then we'll do your ideas.
Yep.
So Ian Gatwood, at Gatwood Ian, he said, personally, while other sports have been proactive in restarting or trying to find ways to restart in whatever form, all I've heard about is NRL and Ashes cancelled, but no details about over here. What exactly is the situation about Super League, Championship and League One? Now, I don't know if this is Ian coming as a rugby league fan in general, or Ian coming as a London Broncos fan, because the questions were specifically around what your club was doing, but I kind of get the feeling it's a bit widespread than this. And that, so I would say I disagree with Ian that the sport hasn't told us what's been going on. I think it has. It's just we're starting later than everyone else because we're poorer than everyone else, if we read between the lines of the statements. But yeah, so that sort of says that Ian, who's a very engaged fan, doesn't feel like he's been told what's going on, which isn't ideal. We had at Wakey Y, his current name on Twitter is the Wolf of Support Your Local Antifa Street. So, I mean, we all understand what Wakey White's politics are, and he said Wakey have been contacting all our older season ticket holders throughout the lockdown to make sure they're okay. Regular updates from Carter on Trinity TV and such. Nice to see, but what you'd expect really. He's basically saying he's satisfied what the club have been doing, but it's what you would expect the club to be doing. DVS at DVS 1871. Oh, sorry, Sarah. Sorry.
I was going to say, but it's done site more than a lot of clubs are doing, I think.
Well, I think the fact that Carter is quite public in his contact with the fans has always been with the surveys we did last year, which we haven't bothered with in the middle of this crisis because it won't reflect reality in a way. But Carter's always scored highly, hasn't he, on that aspect.
To give Hull their due, the one thing that I have seen that they've been doing is Sam French, who's the community, he runs like the camps and stuff.
Yeah.
He's been going in to do some stuff with some of the primary schools with kids whose parents are key workers.
Oh, that's a big positive, definitely. DVS at DVS 1871 said that what his club has been doing is TikToks by the looks of it, and then lots of laughy facey emojis. Sandy Shipley at Sandy D Shipley 01 if you want to follow Sandy, if you're not already following Sandy, but Sandy's got more followers than we've got, so everyone's following Sandy. Sandy said Toronto did a live event with a Q&A last week. Prior to that they hadn't done much, so I did a quiz a week before. So yeah, basically Sandy was the kind of Sandy drove the Toronto Wolfpack to engage with their fans almost more than the club were doing themselves, which which just speaks to the kind of person Sandy is and why she deserves to have the following that she has, doesn't it? But that's a damning kind of thing, isn't it? That we're all talking about our club started the contact early in the lockdown and maybe have phased it off a little bit. Sounds like the opposite way around for Toronto, and thankfully Sandy managed to get the fans together herself, which was good. Enough of that now. At Andy Gilder said, Leeds have been really good with putting retro games online, doing little Twitter updates as if they were live. So yeah, Dom, so when the games have been on, they've kind of been playing it like they are real games that are going on right now, haven't they? So that's at least some sort of content like we talked about. And Neil McEwen at Neil McEwen 4600 said, Widnes have been all over social media, retro games, Zoom fitness with the Chapel Howe twins, etc. So that's another aspect, actually, that you talked a little bit about, Don, with the Dogcast stuff. Wigan have had on their television channels Liam Marshall catching up with some of the other players. Then other players, Jackson Hastings has started his podcast as well. They've done other little bits like that. But this, where Widnes are actually getting some players to engage with fans, I think that's fantastic. We know the pitfalls of public Zoom links, but well done for keeping it going there, Widnes. So there are some ideas out there that we've seen, haven't we? Like Wakey White said, some of this is what you'd expect, but let's do your other ideas then, things that maybe haven't already come out of this sort of stuff that we've seen going on so far, of how clubs can really make fans feel part of the club.
So this is a week, an hour, so they're not thought through properly. But the idea was limited budget, limited team, and also limited access to players. We know they have some access to players, but the players have to want to do it. You can't make them do it. They have to volunteer to do it. So, so the first one was a weekly video / photo challenge, i.e. best try celebration, best Rube Goldberg machine with the rugby ball, and the winners get a signed ball sent to them. Right? Just something that can be displayed, use it on Twitter, do it on email, something like that, something a bit of interactive.
So Wigan did a thing. Sorry, go on, Sarah.
I was just going to say, Hull did do a thing where it was like recreate this thing, this particular try or something. But
yeah, and Wigan during the sort of Warriors at Home thing that they did for particularly the first 4 or 5 weeks of lockdown, every day we're giving away prizes to the person that gets selected by a different player each day. So it does. That's a good idea, Dom. Definitely, that I think a lot of clubs have taken on board. So that's a good.
Maybe
one.
They should have. Maybe they'd have been better off slowing down the initial stuff. So rather than every day, do one a week or something.
Exactly. If you'd have done one a week, right now you'd have given away 10 balls.
Yeah.
Right. It's not that much, is it really?
But remember to sanitize your balls.
Until the players. Yeah. Well, you can wait until the players come back before you send them out and get them to sign it. But you've then got 10 weeks of content with all the fans going, okay, what are we going to do this week? Let's get the family involved. Like we did a try celebration with Scarlett just on social media, but for the Rhinos women, just for some fun. I was like, if you do that as a bit of fun, have a gallery, let the players pick their best, film their reactions to them. You've got something there that if you film a photo and one of the players is going to see it and you might win a prize, you are inclined.
Yeah.
And it's an easy way of getting content and some activity. So that's one of them. So the next one is a weekly lottery for a 20-minute chat with the player over Zoom, and all season tickets members are automatically entered. So you can't buy a ticket to get into it. You just got to be a season ticket member, and once a week they pick out a winner going, hey, you can have a chat with the player if you want.
And Sarah, this speaks to what you were sort of saying about kind of season ticket holders feeling like they've been left behind a little bit, that they've already paid the money.
But I think it's something we often talk about on the show, isn't it? Like, it's not about milking the fans that you've already got, who are already going to buy the season ticket, who are already going to buy the shirt, and everything else. It's the other people you need to be getting the money out of. Let's reward the season ticket holders who probably already have the home shirt and the away shirt. So telling me, that you're offering me a special discount, it doesn't make any difference because these people are people who already have them.
And you could even dual run this, like Dom says, like the way Dom's put it, it does reward season ticket holders, doesn't it, without expecting more. And then if you want to try and run it as a way of making money as well, you can have like the second ballot of bought entries almost, And,
100%.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that's a great idea that I've seen no clubs doing that I think would really help with fans.
So the next one, Rugby League 19 or Rugby League Live. So that's an iPhone game or an Xbox game, virtual competition, a mini league table or a knockout. So use one of the Rugby League games there. Let fans create a team and let them have, because both of them have online modes and have a mini knockout league.
So,
you know what else we could do? Sorry, this is maybe in your 10, so maybe I'll shut up and wait. So carry on.
No, go on. Go on.
No, go on.
Why not share a match, like whether it's a classic from like years gone by, and get some of the players to commentate on it?
Yeah.
Well, that leads me to number 7.
Right. So
which is the NRL watch along.
We'll do that one a little bit.
Sorry, that was.
No, you're right, because
no, it's fine.
We did talk about this, and for clubs to do it for their own fan bases of classic games will work. Because Sky did it with a Great Britain game, they can't do it with club games because there'd be too many people getting pissy about their club not being the team that won that game that Sky want. They'd be like, Sky are always in favour of Leeds because they're doing a game where Leeds won or what have you. Because everyone thinks everyone's against their team. But the own clubs could do it, Sarah, couldn't they, like you say? But, Dom, I did see today that Leeds have actually started a thing this week where one of the Leeds players is playing FIFA tournaments against people on Twitch.
I find yes they are. Yeah.
Yeah, which obviously isn't exactly what you're saying, but it is similar, isn't it? So
it is.
It shows your idea is a good idea because it's starting to permeate through, and that is a great way to engage with particularly young fans. Because let's face it, not many 40-year-old fans are going to be on Twitch playing FIFA, but plenty of 15, 16-year-old fans might be.
Yeah, I've never heard of Twitch until about 2 hours ago.
There you go. And Sarah's not even 40 yet.
I'm not. Well done, Mark.
Yeah.
So number 4 was the big quiz. A player, director, or someone well-known asking questions, YouTube Live and Kahoot. It can handle thousands of fans without anybody needing to set up Zoom or install any special software. I recommended JJB as the Quizmaster, although I did say that with JJB hosting, it would take a long time.
Everyone likes a quiz in lockdown.
Yeah, and again, that could be something that's done fairly regularly. These aren't one-off things. It's not. Quizzes aren't that hard to put out. Everybody likes it. And again, you can have a special gold members one. You can have a silver members one. You can have you could limit it to. You've got a mailing list which is segmented.
But where's the part of this where you're doing the quiz? I missed that bit.
Yeah, so the club liked that, so they came back and said, would I be interested in hosting it? And I said, not a chance, because as we're about to find out, my rugby league knowledge is terrible.
Well, I've lined you up some questions that might help you for that quiz. Right, so what's the idea 5? So idea 5 is the digital treasure hunt. So every day, a clue is posted on the blog which hints towards another page on the website, i.e. a player profile or an old match report. Loading the old page will have a letter, and at the end of the week, those letters combine to form a code. You email that code word at rhinos.co.uk, and that enters you into a competition. So it forces you to come back, explore the site, discuss, have you seen today's code word? It's just something a bit extra. It's something a bit unique. So that's an idea that would never ever occur to me at all when you shared that idea. Sarah, do you think that's something that would go down well, particularly with like younger fans?
Yeah, I was going to say whether you could do a physical thing, but actually you couldn't because a city's too big. But
I wanted to do a digital one, a physical one, but I was like, you can't encourage groups of people to go hunting around a fucking park at the moment.
Yeah.
Which is what I wanted to do.
No, but
Yeah,
Sarah, do you think like Joshua would like doing that? Spending 5 minutes each day going on the website to find the new clue?
Yeah, I'm sure he would.
Yeah, I think it's a really cool idea that clubs could explore that.